Let me start this event on Discord so we get the peeps flying in. Um, and on top of that, let me send an announcement. Yay! Okay, so at everyone.
ओए, मैं हूँ क्या इसके अंदर?
Sorry. All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. How's it going?
Hello.
Hi. Oh, we got Andrea in the house. We got Bam, Bruce. What's up? BZ.
Yo.
Ron. Yo, yo, yo. We got K Dunn, who started the course. Go. Telcoin. Raven, good to see you. I won, of course. Support Monkey, what's up?
Yo.
Yo. How's your weekend so far, Support Monkey?
Every day is Monday. There are no such things as weekends in startup life.
Yeah, that's what I imagined. We got SWT. Up SWT. Willy Blue. 0. Hi, 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 hi. We need an Emerald rap song. Does anyone want to do that for a bounty? Anyone want to do that?
I can take a stab.
Please do, Andrea. I would be dying laughing if you did that. What's up, Dean?
But we need everyone to participate in it.
Yeah, we'll see how many people would speak up. I think Andrea could freestyle. Yeah, but yeah. That's like the requirements. It has to be like all improvised. No prep.
Or someone could just like take all your videos and like do a remix of it.
Like that idea.
I really dislike that idea.
Especially because in every video, Jacob says random things.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, you're all idiots, and I'm a god.
Yeah.
Right?
One idiot.
Someone could make a rap out of it.
Make him sound like a real douche.
Yeah, yeah, right. Just ruin my fame. Looks like Raven used the /God command. I wonder who can figure that one. Nope, nothing. Actually, I'll configure that one later, and we'll see what pops up when it does that.
Oh no!
Yeah, uh-oh. How you doing, Dean? And how's the Genie?
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Thanks, Jacob.
Nice. Dean, I was browsing around the Genius Discord the other day, and I saw there was like a you sent like a what was it? There was like a screenshot of like the R word that you revealed. It was like a rap or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, we we did a teaser for our next product release, which is going to be mystery packs or mystery box.
Ooh,
and
nice.
so we asked the Maneki Club members if they could guess from the image. So just a bit of fun on it.
Nice. That's gonna be hype. Uh-oh, looks like Bam. That's actually pretty cool how you did that, Bam. Everyone seems to be reacting. I know it's just Andrea with 50 reacts. Rat. Now we got a bunch of random commands in the chat. Alright, so we'll wait a couple more minutes and kick things off over here. Lots of stuff today, actually, including Float. Probably the biggest update I have. Hype!
Nice. Speaking of Float, while we wait, do you have a test event I can use to test out Jules's QR code PR?
Oh, let me just make one right now.
Or I can make it. Okay, I was just wondering if you had one ready. But
actually, I
can
probably
make it
do. I definitely do. Hold on one sec. So this one should have something. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Here it is. Try that, Andrea. And here, I'll ping you.
Thank you.
Yeah. For context, we're currently adding QR codes to all the float events, so that's what that's for. We got Amit in the house. What's up, Amit? Ashley, hey. We got the whole squad here. We got Hero, who just completed the course. What's up, Hero? It's fantastic. Always great to see you. Wow, we got all the troops here. Yo, yo, yo. VR1 tuning in. What's up, VR1? Danjido from Demon Slayer. Love that show. Danjido. All right, so we'll start in 1 more minute. I usually just wait a couple minutes. On a bike ride. Oh, that's not. Where are you? Oh, I guess maybe I shouldn't be asking you because I don't know if you can text on the if you're riding a bike, but where are you? Where are you traveling? That's awesome. Maybe I should live stream one of these town halls from a bike. Yeah, I'm just imagining Ashley like half falling off the bicycle while texting in the chat. Like one hand on the steering wheel, or whatever handle. That's great. All right, we'll kick things off. So yeah, what's up, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. I love these like 10-minute chats we have before the town hall. It's always fun. But yeah, Ashley, you go back to your bike ride. You don't have to stop and chat anymore. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So welcome back to town hall number 8. Yeah, it's another week. We do these every other Sunday, so every 2 weeks. And these town halls are really just to sort of like sync up as a group and you know talk about what the things we're going to be doing, and also what has previously happened the past 2 weeks. So I'm sure as all of you are very aware, you know, as always, a crap ton has happened in the past 2 weeks, and a crap ton more is going to be happening in the next 2 weeks. So without further ado, let's get it going. So let me share my screen here so that all you can see my slides. And yeah, so this is town hall number 8. All right, so oh wait, hold on. Let me also make sure that my Discord is on the side here so I can read all of your wonderful messages while we do this. Okay. So, can everyone see my screen? Quick thumbs up in the chat. Except for you, Ashley.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Cool. All right. So town on the raid. Here we go. So as you're all aware, we separate this into different guilds. So we talk about the education guild, then the building guild, and then the governance guild. So let's go right into it. Education guild. Boom. So Emerald Academy, right? That's, you know, a hot topic, hot commodity. We've been talking about the past couple weeks, maybe month now. So as you all know, the first boot camp ended. That lasted 4 weeks. And I think, you know, I don't know if I've like technically like officially ended the submission deadline, because we still had some people submitting here and there. I think we still have like 1 or 2 people that are still going through it, so we're gonna let them finish. But it's pretty much over. So everyone that should be getting the first float on mainnet that I promised if you completed the boot camp, everyone that's, you know, that's pretty much like closed at this point, except for, like I said, like 1 or 2 people. And yeah, so those people will be getting the first float. They will also be getting swag, like Emerald City and Flow swag, and you know, like a nice little certificate that you completed the course. Those people had a good time. I'm sure some of the people in the chat here would tell you that it was a pretty good boot camp and good experience. And the good thing about that is that we're going to be actually running another boot camp in less than 2 weeks. So Bam says pretty good instructors. True. Bam actually is an instructor himself, and a very good one at that. So I promise you that. But yeah, so we're going to be launching our next boot camp in less than 2 weeks. And a quick note about that. So I sent an announcement in the announcements channel that we were switching to a freemium/premium model where everyone in the free category, Amit says, is it possible to buy swag after the boot camp, please? Yes, Amit, I will of course be sending you some swag because you deserve it for all the, you know, help that you've given me. So yes, of course, Amit. Anyway, yeah, so it'll be starting in less than 2 weeks. But one thing I want to mention is that even though I launched this like premium initiative where the boot camp is we're starting to value the boot camp at $250. However, for this upcoming boot camp, it's going to be free for everybody. So what I mean by that is the premium, quote unquote premium options that we were going to be giving, like live workshops, instructors submitting quests, all that stuff. It's going to be free for everybody. So I would really consider, if I were you, participating in this next upcoming boot camp. If you already have done this boot camp, and meaning you were a part of the first one, then I wouldn't really go through it again because it's literally the same content. But like I mentioned in previous weeks, we're going to be hiring instructors. So a few of you have reached out already. I know who you are. And if you're still interested, I'm going to be reaching out to all of you again in like a week or so to talk about, potentially, quote unquote, like hiring you to help with these boot camps. So it'll be around like $1,000 or something like that. And, it'll be a really fun experience, not only to just make some money, get your foot in the door in the Flow ecosystem, but it'll be really great to also, just, get to teach others, work with me to, to help teach, and we'll have a very, very fun time. So that's the Academy. So a little more note about that. So we will be receiving funds from the Flow Foundation to help pay for instructors and swag. And like I said before, to the instructors who have reached out already, I will be getting back to you soon. So yeah. And with this being said, so we actually had a governance guild meeting a couple days ago, where we were talking about, we would have to add like an NFT minting to the Emerald Academy site in order to give people access to these boot camps. But this sort of relieves some stress because now that the boot camp's going to be free this month, we don't really have to worry about that. So we'll just be, it'll be very easy. We won't even have like an official sign-up page. We'll just have people come into Emerald City. If they want to participate in the Academy, we'll have them, sign up for the Academy role like I did before. And then we'll be off to the races. So definitely look forward to Emerald Academy in the next 2 weeks. Any questions about that? Sounds good. It's fantastic. Nice. And Raven's pretty clear. Awesome. So Bam, so will there be advanced courses? Yes, there will be. So yes, there will be advanced courses. And we will, we'll have to develop those over time. At least for this upcoming boot camp, it will be, sort of the same one that we've been doing. Just to make it easier on the instructors who have already gone through it. And, people are also really interested in this one. But yeah, we will be developing more advanced ones. For example, I would say in the next month, or like in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be developing like the intro to FCL course. So that's going to be a whole nother feat, but so K-Dunn said, do I DM you about officially attending next cohort? So K-Dunn, so what you would do is you would just message in the chat channel, in the Emerald Academy category in this Discord. Personally, like I mean, I don't really see a need to like have official signups. If anything, I think that like deters people from joining because you have to like jump through 15 hoops to get enrolled. But what we sort of did for this first boot camp was we had like everyone just let it rip, and then like throughout the boot camp we got an idea for like who was actually participating. Of course, this upcoming boot camp we probably might need a more like official sign up page because like we might have like upwards of like 100 people participating. So we'll figure that out. But for now, I would just message in the Emerald Academy channel. And also, I know that you're taking it, so yeah. So Dean says, any update about Dapper/Flow support of this? You had hinted that they may want to promote. So Andrea, I'm not sure if you want to give a little update about this, but I don't mind talking about it either.
You can go ahead and I can jump in if there's anything to add.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, as far as I'm aware, like I know the Flow Foundation/Flow team are looking to support this effort. So we'll be receiving some funds every month. I mean, we're gonna do it on a month-to-month basis, but we're gonna be receiving some funds to pay for instructors and swag, and also like miscellaneous budget, whatever it is. And in addition to that, the float team will obviously be like marketing this effort and trying to, put butts in seats. I think the incentive for the float team is they really want people to take this boot camp, because it helps to onboard people and obviously, create developers and stuff like that. So they'll be working with other organizations as well to, help fill these seats for this month. And I think this week, the Josh from the Flow team is actually going to be reviewing our content. So he's going to run through the content, make sure there's nothing completely out of the ordinary. And then once Josh sort of approves it, then we can start the boot camp whenever we want, really. I mean, as long as we get proper funding, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and K-Dun, if you do start submitting quests in the quest submissions channel, then we'll just count all those quests for this upcoming boot camp. You will probably add the newer videos at the end of the new boot camp, yes? What do you mean by that, Fantastic? You will probably add the newer videos. Sounds great, Hero. Yeah, so I'm gonna be reaching out to all you guys. So thanks for mentioning that. Like private capabilities vid from a couple of days ago. Oh, I see what you're saying. Fantastic. So no, so the boot camp all this here. So this content right here, this is pretty much done. So I'm not going to be adding anything to this course, because I like the way it's sort of handled right now. Any of the newer videos that I've done on my YouTube channel, that will probably be a separate boot camp that's more advanced. But the content in this boot camp is pretty much done at this point.
Okay, sorry, I see I have a mic. No, yeah, that was just a question, because obviously then if the boot camp keeps expanding, it will be difficult to keep up. So I also like the idea of like a new advanced, boot camp coming up to do all of those newer, more advanced things.
Exactly.
Like we spoke about the other day. Yeah.
Exactly, Fantastic. Yeah, you're totally right. So yeah, we'll probably have like another boot camp that just has like the more advanced stuff in it. So any news about Dapper Collective? Yes, Raven, and we will get into that in a bit. All right, so we good to move on to the Building Guild? Thumbs up in the chat. All right, we got the thumbs up. Lit. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the Building Guild. So, yeah, absolute crap ton of stuff to go over here. So let's talk about Float. So Float is coming to mainnet whenever I want. Winky face, yay! So the contracts have been officially approved, and they have been also allowed to be deployed. So I can deploy them whenever I want. Yeah. So love that power. But Jules recently added QR codes, and we're working to merge that into the actual page soon. I know Andrea is sort of trying that out right now. So once we add the QR codes in and I sort of like clean up stuff a little bit and just make sure that it's where it needs to be, I'm going to go ahead and deploy those contracts. And it will probably be, I want it to be live today, but like, I don't know about like launching something on a Sunday. Is that like looked down upon? I have no idea. So thinking about maybe doing it tomorrow, and just allowing us to like get prepared today. So yeah, so look forward to Float being on mainnet in the next day or two. Really excited about that. Like seriously, so excited. And yeah, look, that Andrea thing will never fail to make me laugh. So does anyone want me to walk through? Does anyone want me to walk through the Float platform, or have I showed you all this 15 times already? And if so, I guess I'll do it at the end because I don't want to bore everybody. But want to trade your number ones? Yeah. And yeah, not to flex or anything, but Andrea and I will be getting the first two floats, so not to flex on all of you. So yeah, we're gonna make a float called like Founders Float, and we'll mint that because we're really awesome, and then we'll we'll make the float for the boot camp. Yeah, so we're gonna make the boot camp float's gonna be so that's gonna go out to all the participants that I listed on the academy page. All right. So that's float. Cool. I see someone message in the. Oh my god. Yeah. So, all right, let's go. So bounties. So, we got a lot of I mean, to sort of like put it short, we got a lot of love from Lamb, Ryan from the Graffle team. Seriously, I woke up on, I think it was Friday. I woke up on Friday and was like almost in tears, I swear to God. Because it's not, it's not common you like wake up to like a whole lot of love like that. So I woke up on Friday and saw Lamb's message and was like blown away. Like I said, I was almost moved to tears. He said, Emerald, that was the best Discord bot I've seen. It's already on Flow. Pay them the bounty to keep extending it. You won't regret it. Jacob is an outstanding member of the ecosystem, which I completely agree with. It got whatever retweets and however many likes. So that was amazing. Certainly made my entire week. But I think more importantly, it shows all the hard work that you've all done and that we've done together. I think we've come a very long way, and I think that what's really important to note here is not just not just about the bounties, but about the fact that when Dapper Collective released these bounties, like it was almost immediate that people were like, Emerald City will be taking this up, Emerald City will be doing this, and I think that's really like reflective of how far we've come, right? Because we've created, that was literally me. We've created, I have to scroll past that. It's distracting. But we've created this community where people are comfortable like coming to us and developing and forming teams and wanting to build these bounties together. And I think it's also really cool because like when you have bounties like this, it's hard to sort of tackle it as just one person because it's much better working in a team. So Emerald City is a great little community for people to come together and to work on these bounties together. So with that ramble being said, we have submitted proposals to take on pretty much all of these bounties, and now we have people spamming in the chat. That's great. So we've submitted proposals for 3 bounties. The first is the Token Minter. We will likely get this one. So if we actually go to this bounty, this is the proposal that I filled out. You'll see there's no other proposals here. So we're the only one. We pretty much crushed all the competition. We submitted the issue and all the competition went running for the hills, scared for their life. So we're probably going to get that one. The Discord bot, we will get this one. And if we don't, then I will throw hands. But we will get this one. So this is going to be, because this is like literally Emerald bot. So we'll get this one. Thanks, Bam, for filling this out. And so we're pretty much killing everyone there. And then the batch token transfer. So Dean from the Genius team, Dean's here, filled out the batch token one. Now this one, I don't know if we're gonna get this one, because we have some other proposals from other people that have already done a great job. The Flow Japan team filled out a great proposal. Matrix Labs filled out a great proposal. But yeah, so Genius filled out one, in partnership with Emerald City. I put my little rocket of approval here. But so I think what's really great about this is that Genius, Dean/Genius have done most of this project already. So it's actually really great because if the team sees this, and the Genius team gets a hold of this bounty, then we'll probably select very few people, like maybe 1 or 2 people, including myself, to help finish this bounty. And then, we'll split the bounty however we decide. But yeah, so there's a lot of, the point here is that there's a lot of opportunity for contribution. And when I released this announcement saying that we're going to be doing this thing, people went nuts for it. And said that they really want to get involved in these projects. So to those people that reached out to me and said I really want to contribute, thank you, and please like don't go away when we actually start doing these things. So I'm not gonna, obviously I don't want to start working on these things just yet until the collective team gives us the go. But once they do, we're gonna need to form different teams, to help build these out. So it's yeah. All right. So, yeah, and like, sort of like BZ said, like this is sort of our opportunity to like present ourselves and show ourselves to the rest of the ecosystem. If we get these bounties and we turn them around in a quick, efficient, and well manner, I think that'll be a really good thing for us, and it'll sort of like allow us to have that like reputation, that we're good at doing this kind of stuff for the future. So, yeah, really excited for this stuff. And if you're interested in working on any of these, primarily the first two, but we'll keep a team going for the third one. But if you're interested in the token minter or the Discord bot, please reach out to me. But do it in this Discord. So please just message in the building chat. And that would be awesome. So yeah. So Tanjiro says I definitely want to be on the team. Awesome, that's great. So yeah, so I'm gonna be. I'll also send another announcement when it's time to start building, so that we can get going. So Mitt says IMO differentiation is if the person doesn't have a collection set up, a swap like trade to them so they can set it up. Probably the most annoying part of the bulk transfer tool that most people won't address at Raven. Yeah. So actually, so a little yeah. One thing I will add there is that. So, Dean, I mentioned this to you as well, but so this batch token transfer proposal, we'll be doing this with the Genius team, but Jules, who's also the one that added the QR codes to the float page, Jules will also be working with us on that, and he has an idea for, like when you do this batch transfer thing, it'll allow the person to batch transfer, and then if for some reason one of those people doesn't have their collection set up, it'll create like a claimable little tab where the person can go to that tab and claim it whenever they want, which will set up their collection and also give them the tokens they were allocated. So that's going to be part of what we're going to be doing if we get the bounty, of course. So sorry, Journey, don't worry at all. Isn't the Discord bot already done? So kind of. I mean, most of it is, yes. So when I submitted the proposal, I already said that we did like 3 out of 5 of the requirements, but we don't have these two. The ability to rank users based on their activities and ability to calculate rewards. To be honest, like this is more of a personal thing, but I don't like these at all. I actually think it's kind of weird that it was included, but the reason I think that is because there are Discord bots out there that do these two really well already. And so we would kind of be like reinventing the wheel, like in a worse way. And I would rather just include like a bot that does this like really well. But it's okay. So we would add these two to the bot, and yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like for example, this requirement, like ability to rank users based on their activities within Discord, like there are Discord bots completely dedicated to doing this one point. So it's sort of bizarre to add that to Emerald Bot, but like if you think of Discord bots as plugins, right? Like, why not just use a plugin that already exists? Yeah, that'd be cool, Andrea. If we like integrated with them, we could. That'd be really cool actually, because if we reach out to Me6 or whatever, they're like arguably the most popular Discord bot. So if we reach out to them and did like an integration, I mean, that would be just so cool. So yeah, in my proposal, I kind of said that there are Discord bots that already do this, like Me6 and Activity Rank, but yep. All right, cool. On to the next tier. So any questions about the bounties? And everyone's sort of understands this. And again, reach out if you want to participate. So, Mayrab, so I would say you would probably want to be involved in this one, the token minter. And this one, if you look at the bounty again, I'm pretty sure this is just creating a platform that, here, I'll show you. So let's actually go to this bounty for a second. This is probably the most important. But let's look at look at this one. Yeah. Let's go to this page for a second. So this is pretty much what they want us to build. So you would click on get started. No. Create an NFT collection. New collection? No. What is it? Is it this one? I don't know where I was.
Yeah, it's manifold.
Which one? Oh, is it the other one? I don't know if this was, well, this wasn't the one I was looking at earlier though. Yeah, no, it wasn't this one. I think it was this one. Because there was one, hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah. So this is what it would basically look like. We would have a UI on like whatever, like the left-hand side, for example, and you would put in like a name, like Jacob, like, and then the abbreviations like, Jacob token, supplies like 1,000, right? The price, I don't know. So you configure all of these like things, and what it does is if you look on the right-hand side, it's auto-configuring the contract. So this is sort of what we would be doing. So essentially the knowledge that you would need is, like I would be fine handling most of the Cadence stuff, and I would say that if you're a Cadence developer, then you could help on the NFT contract side of things. But I think most of this work is going to be front end. So it's going to be figuring out how to like configure data, metadata, and then populating it in the Cadence contract. So that's what we're going to be doing.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Real quick?
Yeah.
So completely different, but in my previous job at Amazon, I built a tool that did more or less the same thing, but for SQL. So it was a app that would allow non-technical people to generate SQL by filling out some UI.
Yeah.
Kind of like the one on the left that you just showed.
Yep.
And the BI team could create templates using SQL with dynamic fields that would show up as UI components. So the actual Cadence code, if we use the same kind of technology, the Cadence code can self-describe what UI components to show, right? And therefore, it's not just like a hard-coded, you can only do this, but any Cadence developer could create dynamic contracts that show up as various UI components, whether it be an input field, a calendar picker, I don't know, any type of dynamic field, and that way it's like a two-sided thing, right? Where Cadence developers can contribute contracts which show up as UI components, and people can use them to create contracts on the other side without knowing Cadence. I don't know if I did a good job explaining it.
No, that's sick. So yeah, you're talking about more of like a two-way street. Like not only would you create components to like add stuff to the Cadence code, but the Cadence code would also like generate components or something like that.
Kind of. So let me take like one minute to re-explain it. So the problem we had was people needed to run a lot of SQL queries, right? But they didn't know SQL. And what ended up happening was people started requesting BI help for all sorts of queries, even though most of those queries were just modifications of previous ones. So what I built was a tool where the BI team could create a query, and any place where data would usually be hard-coded, they would put wildcards, right? That the app would then read and display as UI components, which people who are not technical can play with and input whatever they want, and the app would then stringify that into SQL, into hard-coded SQL, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, and this is already happening in the manifold or in the one that you just showed, right? Like where you have an input field on the left and that's changing the code on the right.
Yeah.
The extra step is, what would be cool is if Cadence developers could upload files, right? So doing it like this is pretty easy, and I already have some ideas on how to build it since I already built something like this. But what could be even more interesting is Cadence developers can upload files that have specific dynamic fields, like for example, double curly brace or something like that,
Yeah.
within the contract, and the app would detect those dynamic fields and kind of parse it into a collection of UI components that people can play with, and that would then stringify into a Cadence contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting.
And all we would need to do is just create those little Lego blocks of, oh, we need an input field, or we need a text area, or we need a date UI component, or we need, let's see here, we need a price, right? Like a number. We need a URL component. And then the Cadence developer can input all of those standard fields within the contract, and the app would then detect them. And I also have like the concept of labels so that you can self-describe what label should be shown, what default value. Anyways, we can talk about this, but I just wanted to say that I had to go through something. I had to build something pretty much exactly like this, so I kind of have a lot of learnings from it.
Awesome. Let's just copy paste it and then make a Cadence instead. Maybe that's not allowed. But yeah, thanks Andrea for sharing that. And honestly, Andrea, like what we could do is we could make this sort of thing for the bounty, and then if we wanted to, we could take that idea you just had and make it like another piece of tooling by Emerald City.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would like that a lot. Awesome.
Yeah, if you made this for Flow, I'm looking through it now on my own. Like this is what, this would be great.
Yeah,
Because it's been forever since Ether's been able to get something like this. This is so easy.
Yeah, this would be super, super cool.
Hi, Jacob. So, based on the gentleman's explanation of his project, do you have any idea of how the teams would be built and how we would work together? How would we bring together our ideas?
It's a fantastic question. I would say at first it's going to be kind of an experiment because this will be sort of our first time doing things in like a larger scale team. But I would imagine we'll probably have like, probably like 6 to 10 people working on this. And what we'll do is we'll have to set up a meeting ahead of time, with those people, and we'll delegate specific tasks, depending on what people are interested in and what people are good at. So, for example, we'll meet together and I'll say, okay, I'm gonna code up the initial contract, and then we'll say, Tanjiro, you'll maybe code up this component that like takes in some fields here. We'll split it up sort of like that, but we'll leave most of that decision making to when we actually have an idea for like how many people are on the team, and then we'll just set up a meeting to go over that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, great question. All right. Yep, loving all these thoughts. Yeah, so yeah, that'd be awesome. Cool. Yeah, this will be for the bounty, and then we'll also let's keep what Andrea said in the back of our minds because I think that'd be super, super sick. All right, on to the next. So, yay, Emerald Gateway. So token minting bounties for fungible or non-fungible? I think it's non-fungible, Dean. I think it's non-fungible. At least I thought. Yeah, NFT. I don't know why they called it token. That's a bit misleading. But
I read for both, or I think it said the ability to have fungible as well.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I think it's at the bottom. It's a bonus quest. So I think the bounty is actually for 30, and then it's like a 5,000 extra if you make it for fungible as well, and there's another 5,000 optional thing that I read.
Reward per each additional future. Wait, what?
So there's the additional features. There's support for minting fungible tokens and documentation and walkthroughs for non-English languages. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not. I mean, that's pretty simple. Like I said, I think most of the work is going to go into the front end UI. So the Cadence code itself, like spoiler alert, the Cadence code for this is extremely easy. I mean, it's literally just an NFT contract, and you have the front end like configure stuff in the file. But The cadence code itself is extremely easy. So whether or not it's for fungible or non-fungible is pretty straightforward. So Dean, do you want to? Oh wait, don't ghouls. Dean, do you want to give a brief description of what this is?
Yeah, no, just actually, it was just timing was coincidental because I had a friend of mine, kind of not in the cryptos, NFT, whatever space, contact me and said, one of those typical like questions you get and you sort of you're not quite sure how to answer them because the person clearly is coming at it, very, very early in their understanding. And anyway, they asked me, is there a way of creating a fungible token, just without having to go hire a Solidity developer and, build that? And I said, well, obviously it depends on what you're going to do with it and all the rest of it. But I remember I'd come across this tool that basically there's a few of them out there on Ethereum and others. This one now is, I see it's added extra chain support, but there's a lot of tools out there, is my point, that allow you to plug in some basic configuration and create, a supply for a fungible token with some parameters, and off you go, right? Like you've got your tokens, you can then shove them into a wallet and then start distributing them and all the rest. So I guess my point of raising this is just that if it is for fungible as well as non-fungible tokens, then there are a couple of other example references on other chains like that one that we can use. Mostly, maybe it's just more UI if the cadence language stuff is pretty easy to code then, but at least, steal some of the UI kind of things to kind of how we would, make this operate.
Love it. Yeah, this is great. We can use this to sort of like get a grasp of like what we should be like configuring and stuff like that. So this is great. Pretty nice, actually. Very simple. Awesome. Copy. Yeah. Oh yeah, so yeah, Mitt, what you said, yes, this is the last thing I'll sort of talk about with the bounties. I do want to move on, but it is actually really interesting what you said, Mitt, because right now I'm almost positive how the Flow team approves contracts is they approve the bytecode, right? So that it's like the specific contract is approved. So I don't know if we configure different types of metadata and add in different fields and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how we'll get that approved, but the Flow team will have to like allow us to do that. The auto deploy contracts and stuff.
Yeah, maybe I know that there's like a token. I don't know. I think if the feature were working and the fields, I think it really depends on how much flexibility we put in the contract, right? If it's just a matter of filling out specific metadata that's pretty static, we can maybe work with the team to say, hey, look, this is the contract. This is how it's going to change, and maybe the deploying account can be a cosigner or something, and that has like whitelisted permissions. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just thinking out loud, really.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. At least for the sake of the bounty, it'll all be on testnet, so it's fine. But we'll sort of leave that up to the Dapper team on how they want to go about that.
Yeah. And again, I mentioned this in the comments, but the team is working very hard towards stable cadence, right?
Yeah.
And that is not years away. It is probably months away. So like, let's not plan everything for the sake of the approvals. I think we should like build what we think would be the best case scenario, like the best UX, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So that when permissionless deployment and stable cadence arrives, then it'll be as we want it.
Definitely. Yep. Awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna move on to the next one. So Emerald Gateway. So this is, like we were mentioning in previous town halls, it's a way for project creators to start a whitelist and specify certain requirements to get on the whitelist. So I kind of want to demo all the amazing work that Zero here has done. So round of applause. Let me put some clapping hands in the chat for Zero here for all this amazing work. But so let's go about it. So right now on this website, we have a list of, so this is all on chain, by the way. Although it's currently using the local emulator, so it won't work on like a deployed version, but I'll still walk through this. So if we go to your whitelist, I'll walk you through what this process will kind of look like. So we can configure like, let's say we want to do like, you know, like a schmoes whitelist or something, and then we'll say like emit. Cool. We'll continue here. And then, you know, there's going to be a list of tokens. So this is going to be very interesting because, you know, we're going to have a bunch of custom like we're going to have a bunch of tokens already. So one of them, for example, like Flow and FUSD, let's say that in order to get on this whitelist, the user has to have 20 Flow. You would click this box and then type in 20. And then, you know, now the user has to have 20 Flow. You could do that for FUSD. And then you could also add a custom token where, you know, you would input like the identifier of the token. So like some address dot like myft dot vault or something. And then like the amount. But we'll leave that to another time. And so that would be like how you add a custom token. Now for NFTs, it's a little more difficult because you can't add a custom NFT really, because the way that metadata works on Flow is so difficult. So it's not really worth trying to solve that problem. But what we will have is a bunch of like pre-configured collections, like for example, Basic Beast, where you click this button, it'll just say like, okay, you know, behind the scenes, it'll understand what like how to search for these fields here. So, you know, Flowvatar will have like a specific Flowvatar one. Now, I would like to talk to both Bjartek and some of the people here, like Amit, even you might have some ideas here, but like trying to add custom collections where we verify that the user has them is very difficult, because I think essentially what this looks like is if we're handling all of this on chain, then what we have to do is we have to basically have an admin sign that the user has an NFT from one of these custom collections, and then send that signature on chain and verify it on chain with something like Zay Verifier, I meant. So I don't know. This is definitely like a broader discussion to be had here because it's very intimidating. But we'll solve it at some point. But yeah, it's definitely a big problem. Anytime you start talking about NFT metadata, on Flow, stuff gets really complicated very quickly. But we'll figure it out. And then you can require like an Emerald ID. You can require that the user has a role in some Discord. So let's add a Discord server. Let's say the server ID is whatever. The role is like, some role. We add that role. We can save that. So the user has to have a role from that Discord now. We can continue. We can require that they follow some people on Twitter. So they follow Dean on Twitter. And the thing about this is that, again, like all of this verification is going to be happening on chain. So, we're going to have an admin sign or produce a signature that the person owns a certain account, and then we'll send that signature on chain. And then at the end here, there's sort of a confirmation, like there's the name, the description, the tokens the user has to have, what the collections are. They have to have an Emerald ID, a Discord, a Twitter. There's also a see details component where you can see all the details, all the Twitter accounts, super cool. And then you would confirm and it would run a transaction to create the whitelist. So that is a demo of Gateway so far. Again, fantastic job by Zero. You've really outdone yourself. And we're going to keep working to get this more on chain. And start adding in some cool stuff. So love it. All right. So with that being said, the next thing I'm going to go on to here is Emerald ID. Actually, are there any questions about Gateway first? / any comments, questions, concerns, pieces of advice, improvements, suggestions? All right, cool. So Emerald ID, so there's been a lot of updates to Emerald ID in the past 2 weeks. One of them actually was pretty cool because we started doing this moments in set thing. So moments in set is basically a way for you to view like the certain moments that a user has in a set on NBA Top Shot. Now, I don't really know why I decided to do this. It was kind of like me waking up one morning. Actually, no, it was more like me at 3 a.m. being like, I want to mess around with NBA Top Shot. So I started messing around with NBA Top Shot, and then for some reason I ended up doing this. So you can view like the moments a user has in a set. So for example, if I type in my Dapper wallet address, I can see that I have all 6 moments from the gift, right? So yeah. So that's a thing, and you can in this Discord even you can type /moments in set, and you'll see it pop up. Another one is, so this is in my opinion so useful, and I don't think people are aware of this yet, is /identity. So if you do /identity and then type in like someone's name, it'll actually give you like their information. So I think this is really cool because you don't have to ask someone like what their address is anymore. I mean, of course, like, people might have a preference of what address you use, but by default, you can sort of get an idea for what someone's address is. And this is, kind of what the Dapper team wanted anyway with the Emerald Bot thing. So it's really useful. And I think, another one is /resolve. So /resolve allows you to type in an account and get information about the other two fields. And what I mean by that is like, if you do /resolve and then type in like an address, it'll give you their .find and .fn. But if you do /resolve and you type in someone's .find name, so like jacob.find, it'll return my address. So it's a way for you to resolve things about a user, which is pretty cool. So yeah, yep. So that's that. And also, so just more general improvements to like verifying user NFT and stuff. So if you do /NFT verifier, it'll give you all the fields you're gonna need in order to like get information to set up a verifier for somebody. So if you have an NFT and you want someone to get a certain role based on having that NFT, you can type in that field. Or if you have set up a custom one with me, you can do /custom verifier and then type in the custom name and the role. But that's only if you've set it up with me. Look at Andrea stealing emerald.
I just want to say that one of the first town halls that we had, I think probably was like the first or second, the .find topic came up, and I wanted to secure emerald for Emerald City,
Stolen.
and it will be given out at a very fair price of 1,000 fair today.
Oh, we have a bad actor in this ecosystem. Uh-oh. Our first bad actor.
I think if people are good at searching on Discord, they will find my message here where I say that I've reserved it for Emerald and we'll give it to Emerald.
Oh my god, that's great. I love it. We've uncovered something about Andrea. Emerald, and you have Emerald City.find? Wow, nice. All right, so apparently we have people.
And I think Bam has something as well, right? I think he probably has like Emerald DAO.find or something.
Bam, what do you have? Do we have everything? He does. Oh my god, great job, guys. That's great. Look at everybody. That's awesome. Good job. So we're making sure no one ever comes close to our brand. That's great. So the next thing I'm going to talk about here is the website. Again, so all credit goes to Dean and the Genius team. Just such a fantastic job. I seriously love it. And so I showed this already last town hall, but I just wanted to show it again because I think it's so cool. So here's just the website. I freaking love it. And it's at ecdao.org. So check it out. Just so cool. The Education Guild, Building Guild, Governance Guild. And we haven't really started like promoting the site that much. I sort of have just like been talking about it internally, but we'll put it on our Twitter. We'll announce it on Twitter in a more official manner soon, to like really let people be aware of it. But for now, it's up there and you can look at it. But it's super cool. This is my favorite part by far. Looking at all of us slide by. There's Zero right there, and there's SWT. Oh, there's more of SWT. There's a lot of her. Ash. There's everybody here. So I love this so much. And then there's the partners one. Love it. So this is just so amazing. And thanks again, Dean. So I'm going to keep showing that for a while. And then lastly, the Andrea was shitting on it.
No. I wasn't.
No, he wasn't shitting on that.
Okay, you go ahead.
I was going to say, no, Andrea wasn't shitting on that one. He was shitting on Academy. So he didn't like Academy. So if we go to Academy, easy.org,
Yeah,
this is the one that Andrea just hated for some reason. Just really didn't like it. So I took it personally, and I'll look to improve it soon. But yeah, he actually came around. Andrea came around when he clicked on this and was like, "Wow, you have a whole page of this," and I was like, "Yep, we do." And it looks it's pretty cool, right? This was like the history of the boot camp.
Yeah. So my fault. I had not visited the Academy site in a couple weeks. So I still remember like the first version where the images were not, cropping correctly and everything. And that's what my memory was based on. But once I checked it out, it looks a little better.
Yeah. All right. So it's good. We have the stamp of approval now. No, but yeah. I mean, what I did agree with 100% Andrea was so. What also Andrea was talking about was that like, we were gonna have like the NFT minting on this page to get into the Academy, and if we did, we needed to make this page like a little more official, because people would be like buying tokens and stuff. But with that worry out of the way, yeah, we don't really have to worry about that too much. All right. So on to the last one. So this is sort of the last thing before we all go. Use Shift Window plus. Thank you, Raven. Didn't know that. I just use snipping tool for everything. So thank you. Yes, this is the last thing. So Floatal Combat. So props to Support Monkey for the name. Pretty funny, and I like it. But yeah, so this is sort of like our quirky name for like the competitions we've been doing. So as you all know, we've been doing some fun competitions with the Minecraft event. Where we gave out like a bunch of prizes, and also the Cadence one-on-one battles. So we didn't get a recording for the Cadence battles, which sort of stinks, but they were really funny, and we had people going at it like in 2v2 style, where we had like a coach like coaching someone else, like screaming at him to make the contract. So it was really funny because like BC and Willy Blue were on a team. And Willy Blue was like desperately trying to make a contract, and like you could hear BZ like screaming through the mic. And we also had Jaroon, the Zed's ambassador, and who was Jaroon with? Oh, it was with you, Hero, right? Oh no, Hero left. But the Hero never made a contract in his life. Like literally didn't even know what Cadence was, and Jaroon was like screaming at him to like make a function. So I was laughing the whole time. It was so funny. But it was also really fun, and like, of course, from the more education side of things, it was great because Hero was getting screamed at by Jaroon to make a function, and then 1 week later he completed the boot camp because he didn't want to get yelled at again. So you could say that it encouraged him to do the boot camp, and now he's a sort of a legend in Cadence. So it did its job, and people also got. Actually, I don't think I ever sent out the Emerald, so I should probably do that, but Willy Blue got a goat voucher, so props to Amit, and thank you so much for that. And Willy Blue now has a goat, so that was fun, and we'll definitely be doing more of these in the future. And the reason I put this slide here is just because Floatal Combat, I love these. It's so fun just getting to hang out like on a Saturday and also just compete for flow and stuff and have people learn. So it's fun. We'll keep doing these, and maybe one next weekend. So with that being said, that's all I really have. I wrapped it up for an hour. Nice. Yeah, that's about it. So lots of stuff going on. Yawned. But yeah, lots to do. Lots to do.
That's it. Sorry, I think I might have missed it. Why did we decide to make the premium version free, and the buying the floats and that sort of thing, to remove that?
Yeah, great question. Fantastic. Two reasons. So one is because if we're going to be getting funding from the Flow Foundation, it doesn't really make sense to like monetize it internally because obviously we want to continue to get funding on their behalf. So it's sort of like a conflict of like interest a little bit. But more importantly, for me personally, the reason I'm making it free right now is because one of the things I value most in Emerald City is the fact that we have a ton of builders constantly wanting to contribute. And the reason for that is because we provide this free education avenue. So what happens is, if you almost picture this like a road, we have people coming in right on the education side because it's free. And people learning Cadence and learning about the blockchain, all that stuff. And, we have a ton of people doing that because it's free. And the way that we benefit from that so much is because those people go through our boot camps, go through our education and stuff. But they also, more importantly, get introduced to Emerald City on a broader level. And then when it comes time to build, like Float or Gateway or, these bounties we're going to be doing, we have a whole ton of people wanting to build this out for us. And they're from the education side. So it's really important for us to have that free education because we meet people in live workshops. We talk to them when we review their quests. We get to know them. And then in return, they sort of help us by contributing on the building side. So that's how I've thought about it. And yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Well, that's how I wound up there. It was because, it's learning a new language that is, you don't have to pay to learn it. So yeah, obviously it makes a lot of sense. I just missed, I don't think we discussed that because I was there for the governance guild. And the last we spoke on the governance guild, it was still that sort of thing. But yeah, just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. Yeah. So we did have the governance guild meeting. We had decided we were going to make it paid. And what we're going to do is we're going to, it's still like I think that meeting is important because I think what we decided is that, this material is valuable and it should cost something. So that'll tie in, I would say, at a later point, maybe when the academy becomes more established, then we'll start making like a premium option. Because if we have like hundreds and hundreds of people every boot camp, we have to make a premium or else we just can't keep up.
Yes.
So yeah,
especially for the grading of the quests and that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Because then it's going to take more man hours or lady hours or whatever.
Exactly.
And then especially if Flow decides that Emerald City is established enough that obviously because if they give funding especially for the academy and that sort of thing, it doesn't make sense to then charge the people because, like you say, it's more like it's morally it feels wrong morally.
Yeah.
To get a grant for something and then have the people ask the people to pay for it.
Definitely. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything you said, I agree with.
100%. And I think one way to look at it is this is like a beta phase for Emerald Academy, and Flow, the Flow Foundation is funding that beta phase because there's still a lot of hard work going into it. Still instructors volunteering their time, whose time should be rewarded, right? And in the future, for it to be self-sustaining, that will probably need to be priced in somehow, which is why the governance discussion was about charging for all the hard work. But exactly as you said, we didn't want to gate this knowledge in such an embryonic phase of Flow in general, but especially Emerald Academy. And so we agreed to kind of like, given that we're funding it from a Flow side, it would make sense to keep things free for now. So like it's best of both worlds, right? Because people will still get rewarded. All of the perks that were mentioned in the governance guild will still be given out. But it can be free to anyone.
100%.
Yeah, it makes one thing that we spoke about the academy and finishing the academy. I sort of got the feeling, and I don't know who else got that feeling, is the feeling of like, what now? Is because obviously I did the NFT contract that you have on YouTube. I did like most of the YouTube videos, but the what now sort of thing, because like you say, you handle most of the cadence contracts for most of the stuff that we're doing now, obviously because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like using the star player to score all the goals, that makes logical sense. But it sort of feels obviously with the bounties going on now. I mean, even if you handle the majority of the things, is it possible to like you do the tutorials on YouTube, to just sort of voice out the way of thinking when you go through the contracts, when you build the contracts, even if you build them yourself, but just to create a video or something, not really edited, because I mean the 3-hour NFT marketplace thing was just like you just sat down and you just nuked the marketplace thing. But that was so insightful, for someone like me who's new to the ecosystem, to see, from zero to hero, or well, from the start to finish, to get the thing going. Just in getting inside your mind to build the stuff out. So in that sense, you're still building the stuff, but we as newbies can, get inside your mind and see the way of the thinking behind building the contracts.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, Yeah, so the reason that I have done most of the coding up to this point was that, like, to tell you the truth, like when I was coding out Float, there was no one in Emerald City that really could take on that task. Because at that time, like we hadn't really launched the boot camp yet. To tell you the truth, like I think Bam here was probably one of the only people that actually even knew Cadence. But now it does make sense for me to open this up a little bit, and you know, yeah, of course, like send the star player out. Yeah, I am the star player, and have me code the contracts. Great, but my goal for this DAO is definitely not to have that long term. Like, however, I can start offloading responsibilities, the quicker the better for me. Because there will be a point where I just simply can't be coding out all these contracts, and I also want to use this as a learning experience. So with that being said, if we do receive these bounties, then my plan, I just haven't talked about it in detail yet, but my plan is to get, like, when we meet and we have a group to discuss like who wants to do what, the people that are interested in the Cadence stuff, we'll have a separate call where I can live code that Cadence stuff. People can tune in and it'll be recorded, and so they can get a sense of like get in my head a little bit. And also, start building up other Cadence developers so that when we have bounties and stuff in the future, I can sort of offload those responsibilities onto those people, paid, of course.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I was thinking. That would be really cool, because like with the gateway thing, I see it's a lot further now than last when we've spoken. But just to get, when you and Yuri get together, or Zero, get together and talk about the gateway things. I know it's not always, easy to coordinate everything, but just to have a look at how those things get integrated, also
definitely.
helps a lot.
Definitely. Yep. Yeah, so I'll definitely be doing this like live / recorded Cadence sessions for people that want to learn. The front end stuff is more difficult to do that because people work at a different pace, and also, like, to be frank, I mean, half of this DAO is like far better than me at front end developing anyway. So that stuff I can't really do on my own. And also, like, there are some really like talented people there. So what we've been doing so far is, like, Zero, for example, who's really good at this kind of stuff, has on the side just been like developing it and gets back to me, and then I do the Cadence stuff and stuff like that. But I'd be more than happy to teach people how I'm thinking about it from the Cadence perspective. Also, yeah, what Dean said is yeah, that's very accurate. So when we have like more advanced courses, those definitely will be paid and higher priced for sure.
Yes, because I think there's actually at the advanced stage, you're going to get a lot more questions. So it's going to take up a lot more of your time. So then that'll make sense to, have it paid for the advanced instructors to actually do like one-on-one sessions with, troubleshooting code or that sort of thing.
Definitely. Yeah. And the content itself is also a lot more valuable because, not even myself, but like if we were to have BRTech, for example, contributing to that course, I mean, like you think about like the value that he holds and all the time that he spent learning the language and stuff like that, it's a lot more valuable than just like an introductory thing.
Could I add something?
Yeah.
Which I think could tie into It's Fantastic's point on what next.
Yeah.
So totally agree on all the advanced courses. And what I think would also be an interesting mechanic could be after completing the courses, there's a lot of need in general in the world of flow content, right? Whether it be blog posts or videos. What could be interesting is we could tie in kind of like prizes or bounties for people who want to really digest what they've learned even further by creating content that other people may find useful, right? I think the best way to learn something is to try and teach it because it really forces you to learn it. So what could be interesting is maybe as part of Emerald Academy, a what next could be, hey, let's contribute back to the world with educational content, whether it be, like, oh, here's this cool thing I learned about FCL, or here's this cool, even simple blog posts. And I think we would also, from from a like a grant side, I think it would be very easy to kind of reward those, also as a way to maybe even refund the cost of the course if people take the time to build something like that. And another idea, so that's one thing, which is like contributing back educational content, even if it's kind of random and fragmented. But I think people in the long run will find this useful when they like Google something, right? It's like, oh, how do I do this? And someone created a blog post for it, and the answer is right there. That's one thing. The other thing is it could be interesting. A lot of people like to learn just for the sake of learning, but I think what most people, when they decide to dedicate their time to learning something, it's usually to get something out of it, right? So I want to learn Cadence because I want to build a project, or I want to learn Cadence because hopefully I want to get a job as a smart contract developer. One thing that Emerald can do is also, and I'm happy to collaborate on the Flow/Dapper side. I know that I've actually talked to people from the team, and even other companies would be interested in doing this. Companies like Animoca Brands would be, hey, the top people from the bootcamp, maybe not the beginner bootcamp, but maybe the advanced bootcamp. How about like a guaranteed job interview, or how about like a, I don't know, like I'm just thinking like for the complete journey, like learning is only the first step of a longer journey, and if we can facilitate connecting the learners with who wants to hire the doers, then that'll give even more value to the course.
Without a doubt. And like in the Ether space, there's no verified gatekeeper that you can go to as like a small business and say, hey, I don't have the skill set to code. This was something that we ran into when we tried to find help with smart contract development. It's either insanely expensive or it's a crapshoot and you're going through like WeWork or Fiverr and you have no idea what you're dealing with. EC being a validated portal for a business to come to and know that they can get people who know what they're doing, that's huge.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so I've actually been speaking to Shane from Animoca, but they were also thinking of releasing like an online training platform, that sort of thing, to actually they're probably just plagiarizing most of Jacob's stuff anyway. But I was actually speaking to him because they're looking for developers, because I actually, well, that is something that I'm wondering about, because if there's a need for Cadence developers, like how equipped will somebody be that went through the boot camp, like on a percentage level, to actually be employed as a Cadence developer? Because that will obviously, like Andrea said, was end goal. Some people just want to learn stuff, but me personally, I want to move out of the sphere I'm currently, because it's Sunday evening, 7 o'clock. I'm still at work. I work for myself, which is obviously a thing, but I want to get into the coding world because it's so much more interesting, and it's where I want to see myself in like 5 years. But are there jobs out there for people who've just finished the boot camp, or like you said, was the advanced level? If they finish the advanced thing, then you can without a doubt tell somebody like Shane or whatever, Animoca or any place, saying, listen, I finished this advanced course. I know what I'm doing. You can give me a project and I can handle it.
Yeah, the boot camp that's out right now is definitely more of like an introduction. Although I do think, like, not to toot my own horn, but I do think it is actually like pretty good to introduce you to like some of the even more complicated aspects of Cadence. I think if you go through if you understand everything in the first boot camp really well, I honestly would just say like that you could get an actual position. However, I do think that we will have to have like a more advanced sequence, which goes over like private capabilities and more in depth on access control and like all these more complex topics. And then once someone really goes through that, then they'll be able to like actually look for like a full-time position somewhere. I'm reading Adon's point now. Ah, very interesting. Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, what we were thinking about in the governance guild is like the advanced sequence. So when you think about the advanced sequence, like that's the sequence that will prove that someone is like knowledgeable enough to get a full-time position and like as a smart contract developer. So that course will be paid, like let's say $500 or something, because when you complete that boot camp, not only will you have the skills to go out there and get a job, but we'll also mint you an NFT that's certified by Emerald City, almost like a certificate of completion. So you can go out there and show to people, hey, I have this certificate. I'm knowledgeable enough. From Jacob says I'm knowledgeable enough. / Emerald City says I'm good enough to work as a smart contract developer now. That's sort of what we were talking about on the governance side. And yes, like Dean said, that would be, more entry level. But because of the nature of Cadence developers right now, everything is entry level. Because there's so little. And also like it's also a fantastic point, Dean. Fantastic. You were talking a lot about like the what now. The what now is sort of the also the building stuff in Emerald City, because if you go through the boot camp, you're knowledgeable enough, and like also I'm working directly with you, so I know what you're capable of. So if you go and work on something like Float, and build a smart contract for Float, that's right there. That's like something to add to the resume, right? That you added a smart contract to Float. You helped on some other thing. And Emerald City, just by nature, has all these opportunities open for you to contribute, already, and we're getting more and more and more over time.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is like, especially with the bounties actually that came up now, if you can say to somebody that's at whatever company saying, listen, we did the bounty for, let's say, in the minter, and I worked on that part of the minting thing and whatever, and we worked together on the whole thing. Then that's, like you say, it's part of your resume that you can actually say we worked on this thing together.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess one added like incentive to do these boot camps is because, if like people that go through our boot camp, we know who they are. We've talked to them, we've reviewed their quests, we've talked to them in live workshops, we know how they work. And so those people have like a better opportunity to get involved in some of our projects than someone that's just coming in from the outside, because we know how they work, we know who they are. The one-on-one lesson, it's $1 million in NFT. And maybe we make a little Emerald Garage that are all the opportunities to get involved in. Yeah, the Emerald website is awesome. Dry run. Kudos to the Genius team. Yeah, so I definitely want to talk more about like this stuff. That I think that's great. As of now, the Academy is going to focus on the more introductory side, because we do want to build up Emerald City and have more people involved, like all of you. We've been lucky enough to have even like quite a few people here have come in through the boot camp. So, however, we want to onboard more people, have more people interested, and then as time goes on and we start to develop this more advanced course, you can think about how we can, put a paywall on that and give people certificates of completion, and start reaching out to other orgs who want to pick some developers from the academy. Great. So with all of that being said, that concludes our town hall. Thank you so much for coming to this town hall. I hope it was fun. I hope it was informative. And as always, so many areas to get involved in. And I'll reach out about the bounties pretty soon if we get them. And look forward to Float in the next 2 days. So Float will be out there for all of you to use in 1 to 2 days. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks a bunch, man. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you, Fantastic. You.
Thanks, Jake.
Great.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Andrea. Bye, everybody.